Yes, you need eyes in the back of your head. Don't think I don't know, and mindful of what's been said. Them think a night life over them head. Don't think me, don't see.
Alright, I've just got to say flat out that this stuff against Brett Kavanaugh is getting more and more bizarre as it goes. So, I mean, the first things that are coming out right before this trial hearing thing, it's not a trial. Of course, they always wait till the statute of limitations is way over. Let's just go into this. So, it's coming out now that, I mean, she was a whore in school, like, you know, free love, fucking everybody, couple guys at once, apparently. I hate to use those kind of, strong words, but it's true. I mean, I see this a lot with these fake accusers where they're highly sexual and they're highly, controversial, and, they've got, ex-boyfriends with restraining orders against them and whatnot, and just, years of troubled history. Like, let's see, yeah, Julie Swetnick's ex reveals he filed a restraining order against her. That's, one of these new metoo's that are jumping on board with this Kavanaugh thing. And, you look into her history and she's, bipolar, obsessive. She's got people with restraining orders against her. But then you look at this one, my friend just revealed to me, 2 men now claim that they had an encounter with Christine Ford at this party, not Kavanaugh. So now you've got, double the evidence against her story than she has for her story. Nobody's confirming it. Nobody's corroborating her story, what happened or whatever. And it's supposed to be at this party where a lot of people were. So now 2 different men have independently claimed they were involved in the sexual encounter described by Christine Blasey Ford and not Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh, it has been revealed. Both men claimed to the Senate Judiciary Committee that it was they that were involved in the incident at a high school party in 1982. Ford has accused Kavanaugh of pinning her to a bed and covering her mouth while trying to remove her clothing as his friend Mark Judge watched when she was 15 years old. So, maybe she didn't remember it very well. I mean, who would step forward and claim responsibility for this unless they were actually responsible? I mean, at least there's some good people in the world that will stand up for what's right. There's so many people that will take the path of least resistance or will use a opportunity to gain fame or to work on an agenda when the opportunity presents itself. These latest accusers that have also been thoroughly debunked they were the ones to reach out to the DNC. The DNC reached out to them, and have been contacted by offices of senators, and now they're coming forward or whatever. Oh yeah, he showed his pee-pee to me or something. I think is what the latest one is saying, and she's claiming that it was at another party where there was a lot of people, and that people were screaming down the hall, blah blah blah. This just happened. He exposed himself or something, and where it's crickets. Nobody at that party remembers any of that. And he's got now 2 people saying that the thing that this woman described at this party was actually these 2 other guys, and Judge Kavanaugh wasn't even there at all. So, this is clearly a political hit, and it's no wonder, as I just posted this video about this. All right, I'm going to play you this little clip. This is Michelle Malkin, and I really enjoy her videos. I'm just starting to watch them. I mean, I haven't really paid a lot of attention to her. Otherwise, I would have included her in my top 4 list of conservative women. I would have made it the top 5, and she would have definitely been in there. I really like what she's saying, and I'm going to let you listen to these statistics of fake rape accusations from credible sources, not these in
college campuses. You hear it claimed over and over again by advocates. Only 2% of rape allegations are false. The truth is that number has no documented empirical basis. Experts who actually study false allegations of crimes have traced this phony factoid to a feminist author, Susan Brown Miller, who made the claim in an unverified citation in her 1975 book, Against Our Will. In fact, researcher Edward Greer discovered after attempting to track down Brown Miller's source that the 2% false rape rate is a complete, quote, ideological fabrication and has, quote, no basis in fact. Greer scoured the scientific literature on false rape allegations and found no published studies on the subject. Instead, he found that Brown Miller had cited the remarks of Lawrence H. Cook, a New York appellate judge, from a speech to the Bar Association in 1974. Cook asserted that the commander of the New York City's Rape Analysis Squad, quote, found only about 2% of all rape and related sex charges are determined to be false. Greer contacted the judge's staff, and no one remembered where he got the numbers from or could produce any press releases, reports, or data to support the claim. No matter. Feminist law professors and advocacy groups and journalists have recycled Brown Miller's bogus figure repeatedly. And it popped up again, blindly cited all over Twitter in the wake of the Harvey Weinstein scandal in Hollywood. Actual published research has documented false rape and sexual assault rates ranging from 8% to 41%. Retired NYPD Special Victim Squad Detective John Savino reported that in his NYPD's Manhattan Special Victim Squad, quote, our false report rate was in the double digits during all my years. Sometimes it was as high as 40%. A study in the Detroit suburbs found a false report of 32%. Savino and his colleagues Brent Turvey, a forensic scientist and criminal profiler who heads the Forensic Criminology Institute, and forensic psychologist Aurelio Coronado Mares provide real data and invaluable insights in their new textbook, False Allegations, Investigative and Forensic Issues in Fraudulent Reports of Crime. The bottom line, false rape allegations are far more common than you think. People lie for all sorts of reasons, from the need for attention to the lure of profit, out of anger, revenge, to conceal crimes or illicit activity, or because of addictions or mental health issues. They lie about property crimes. They lie about hate crimes. They lie on 911 calls. They lie in divorce and custody hearings. They lie to perpetrate Medicaid fraud. And yes, they lie about being sexually assaulted or raped. It's not victim blaming to get to the bottom of the truth. It's liar shaming.
I absolutely agree with Michelle Malcolm. Liar shaming is definitely a honorable pursuit. Now, if people are going to lie and hurt other people, in the process of whatever they're waging, and if it's proven that it's a lie, that it was absolutely no truth to it, whether it be DNA, whether it be lie detection, whether it be, verifiable alibis, whatever it may be, and it happens all the time, the accuser should receive the same exact punishment as what the accused would have received with the false accusation, if that would have been successful. So let me just go into this. I think that lie detection is a good way, just like guns, owning a gun is a good way to deter crime from people. Like in states where the most guns are had, be it the United States or be it Switzerland, wherever, Israel, you'll find far less violent crimes committed and robberies and things like that. There might be a higher incident rate of guns, accidental gun death or suicides by gun. But in comparison, like Switzerland, out of a crime index of 109 countries, they're 106 on the list, but yet they have the third highest gun rate of ownership in the world. So they're almost the lowest for the crime index, very few crimes, a little bit higher of gun crime rates than some countries, obviously, but much lower rates of all other things. Same with places like Texas and, Maine, for that matter, places where gun ownership is very high. The per capita amount of crime is much lower. And so I think that having lie detection software that is consumer available, less than $100, and would be able to combine algorithms to create a more reliable result. Almost 99% accurate is what I'm shooting for with my software. And I have been working on this for
5 years now. Has it been 5 years? Yes, 5 years, since 2000. No, since 2012.
Well, it's been 6 years now. It's 2018. So since 2012, I've been working on this. The combination of all 12 of them and then comes up with an average. So, it can be analyzed algorithm by algorithm. Say you trust 8 out of the 12 algorithms, so you only want to see the results of all of those 8 combined and separately. You can weed that kind of thing out. My goal is to really make this affordable and available to everybody. So, for example, when Barack Obama is up there lying, perhaps, about Obamacare, you can keep your doctor, this and that, whatever, or Trump for that matter. Maybe he's saying, oh, I'm the greatest this, I'm the greatest, whatever it is, analyze it for sincerity, for truth, and there can be a scale, and there can be, hardline areas where it's like over this amount, you're pretty much assured that it's the truth, or over this amount, that you're pretty much assured it's a lie. But then there's, a range, a scale in between. So that's kind of where I'm at with it. I've also kind of documented other things that I've analyzed in politics that, where Barack Obama promised these medical marijuana reforms, this marijuana nullification issue or decriminalization, things like that, on his campaign trail, where he, was talking all about that. And then after he got in office, but in the first 18 months, he had more people arrested by the DOJ in just the first 18 months than Bush did in his entire 8 years for cannabis-related crimes. And that's something that I've documented. So, it would be nice if something like this could exist. The sincerity scale, which I've kind of got documented in this video. And that would solve all these strange problems. See, I talked about this as early as, I think this was 2013. No, I've talked about it before that, actually. I was making videos about it in 2012. So, but that's another one that I was going, into my plan. And I want to get people on board, even if it's open source, even if I'm not making a bunch of money off of it. I want this available to help humanity. So say, for example, Hillary Clinton's 30,000 emails that she, mysteriously lost. Destroyed is basically what came out in the trials, but she was playing it off as if they were lost. Like, oh, I can't imagine where they could have gone. Yeah, I turned everything over, blah, blah, blah. All my servers got destroyed. My phones got destroyed. Oops, And the American people, could possibly plug something into their television, their computer, or just use as like this little gadget that I displayed. See, I probably have it down here. It's called the Truster. Oh yeah, this one right here. I believe I've got that on video, or maybe this is somebody else's. Oh yeah, this is my Truster video. And maybe it could just be like this. Maybe, let me just play this for you.
And just a few days ago, actually it's on the 28th of December, 2013 about this, and I made a couple in 2011 as well, about what if we had, and this was before I knew about this, but what if we had something that you could plug into your television, plug into your phone, plug into something, technologically related, that would produce such a speech, or that would recite such a speech, or something like that, or analyze a conversation. And I said, what if it was like a little tricorder, like on Star Trek, that you could just be like, beep, 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 and analyze something? Well, this is it. Now, I don't suspect this is 100% accurate. In fact, I don't even think they claim is 100% accurate, but it's something that I just got in the mail, and I wanted to show it off right here. See, if somebody is lying, if there's stress in a voice, no, it's not necessarily if somebody's lying, but this is a stress analyzation tool. And if somebody is stressed and they're not telling the truth because of stress, then this will analyze that. And there's a lot of ways to beat lie detectors, and this isn't 100% accurate, so I'm not claiming that it is. I just think that it's interesting. You can plug it into your phone with this gadget that came with it. Just a little 3mm plug for your phone. It plugs into this side, and then it plugs into your phone, and you can analyze conversations. You can analyze videos that you're possibly playing on YouTube. Or speeches that you have on your computer. You can plug it into your little jack, your little output jack, and it will analyze it. So check my intention before having an interview, check the truthfulness of a person, check the interests of a person, check the emotions of a person. It's interesting. Like I say, I don't believe that it's 100% accurate. I don't think there's any technology that is, but I think we're getting close. I really do. And as a journalist, as somebody who's been doing...
All right, so that's my point, is that, like, say, we analyzed Clinton with her 30,000 email thing, and didn't have to do all those crazy-ass long trials with her, or now this Kavanaugh thing, or Trump, or, whoever. I mean, if these people are leaders, and these people, are slick in their words, but, weak in their promises, then we should be able to analyze their sincerity. It would be great if we could anyway, to weed out the good from the bad, to separate the goats from the sheep. I think that, having this tool for consumers would be excellent, and I'm promoting that. So, when it comes to, these accusations where, somebody has an accusation, and then, their recollection of it seems a little hazy and odd in timing, and then two more people come out and say, nope, actually, what you're talking about was us. Sorry. Who are you going to believe? I mean, the statute of limitations is over. You can't have a jury of your peers. What do? I think this truster thing would be great. In the court of public opinion, which is how most of this plays out, which is what this is going to be, or what, who knows what's coming up in 2020. It's always a three-ring circus sideshow. But there's always some kind of strange accusation of some kind of personal event that is undocumented and provable and way past the statute of limitations. So I think this would restore confidence in government, in business, and humans in general. I pretty much just avoid humans now. I don't trust hardly any humans. I think that I have better things to do with my time. And out of a world of 7 billion people, I've been able to select a good circle of friends, but it's still small and still, easy to manage and easy to, see through, the garbage. So, I just like smaller crowds, but, for those who, get very into social situations or politics or whatever else, I think these little algorithms that I want to combine would turn out to be very beneficial to people. So, like I said, this Eulerian video magnification is something that MIT released. I have created sort of a front end and framework for it, and I'm plugging in slowly an interface that will analyze all of these algorithms and then create an average, a statistic that, combines as many or as little of these as you want. But I'm going to post this at veracitylife.com, www.veracitylife.com. Thanks for tuning in. This is Ryan. Take care.
Nowadays you need eyes in the back of your head. Don't think I don't know, and mindful of what's been said. Them tick a 9 life over them head. Don't think me don't see them bad mind from way back when. Me have eyes in the back of my head. Don't think I don't know, and mindful of what's been said. Them put a big dollar sign for your head.